Hey, what's up? Welcome to Incredible Victor, and this is the Tecno Camon 20 Pro, and this is a really very hyped up phone, and in this video let's get to review this thing. This video is brought to you by Mars 2 Planet of Smartphone and Gadgets. More about them later in this video. You can also check them out from the links in the description below. For the first look, this phone looks really stylish and really futuristic. They put a lot of effort into the design and styling of the smartphone, and this thing actually speaks for them. And in Bangladesh, they have arranged a very large launch event for the smartphone, which is not very common for smartphone companies in Bangladesh, but they did it. Somewhat I was not invited, but if you want me to get invited in such events, then please hit that like and subscribe button. It's totally cost-free. Once you open the box, you will find this smartphone obviously, and this is wrapped nicely inside a plastic, and below that you will find a clear case, which is pretty nice because you need protection obviously, so you are getting it in the box. And there is a 33-watt fast charger, and look at this, they have included a USB-C cable, the 3.5mm earphone, which is not seen at all nowadays, but they have included in the box. And we also have the 33-watt fast charging. Now I have already said that they have put a lot of effort in the design and styling of the smartphone, and this looks really premium. For the back panel, they have gone with a leather finish this time, and the texture really feels good on hand. And there is some design element in the back panel also, which kind of remind you the Tecno Prova series, but this also looks good. The frame and the body is built with plastic. For the front, this is obviously glass, but they haven't specified which glass is this. Now let's come to the ports and I/O. On the bottom side, they have included a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is pretty sweet to see. Next to that is the microphone hole. Next to that is the USB-C, which is pretty standard these days, and a speaker. Actually, this thing has a stereo speaker setup, and this is the bottom firing speaker obviously. And on the right side we have the power button, which is nice and big, and above them there is the volume rockers, which are separated, which I really like and appreciate obviously. And on the top there is the other unit of the speaker, and this also double as an earpiece obviously. And for the left side, it seems flat, but a SIM tray is hidden in here, and it's a triple slot, what I like to say, because you have the option to use two 4G SIM cards and the memory card simultaneously on this slot, which is pretty sweet. Now for the display, you can see it's really pretty bright and nice, and the display is a 6.67 inches 1080p AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate, which is pretty amazing for the price it has come with. And they have adaptive refresh rate that can jump between 60 to 120 Hz depending on what you are doing. When you are in the camera app, it drops down to 60 Hz, and but I haven't tested with the games, but yeah, this actually can help you to save some batteries when you're idling on your home screen. The display quality is pretty nice on this phone, and the colors looks vivid, and there is no contrast issue. I haven't seen any kind of viewing angle issue with this display also. And they have got some kind of certification for reduced blue light emission. Like, this will help you with your vision problems. I mean, like, if you're watching my videos for a long period of time on this smartphone display, your eyes won't get dull. That's a nice thing. Now there is a nice little punch hole on the top of the display, and that houses the 32 megapixel selfie camera. We'll be talking about that in a minute. There is an in-display fingerprint on the screen thanks to the AMOLED display obviously, and my wonder, this thing actually unlocks pretty well and accurately, and the unlock speed was quite fast. Now it has a pretty solid spec sheet. The only variant of the smartphone comes with 8GB RAM and 256GB of internal storage, although they haven't mentioned which type of storage is this, but it's pretty sweet to see. Now for the SoC, they have gone with the MediaTek Helio G99 chipset, which is a proven chipset, and this thing goes neck and neck with Snapdragon 720G, which my daily driver has inside it, and it's been performing pretty good. In my day-to-day experience, I've seen that the MediaTek G99 on this smartphone really performs well in terms of day-to-day use, and if you want a game on this, I can assure you, you can game pretty well on this phone. Obviously, you can place those heavy demanding game in max settings, but I think it's playable. They have used polymer graphene for heat dissipation on this phone, and this thing speaks when it comes for its performance. Like, I have done stress testing on this smartphone in outdoor and indoor. In outdoor condition with temperature over 36 or 37 I guess, but it was pretty hot outside, and the phone surface was also hot, but still it could hold up a 4-minute stress test with no throttling, and it started throttling to 73% around after 4 minutes. So this thing really works there. And in terms of indoor condition, it didn't throttle at all. I've done a 10 minutes test and it was flawless. So in terms of performance, I am really optimistic about this smartphone. For the battery side, they have packed up a 5000 mAh battery, and this thing is paired with the 33-watt charging, and the combo gives you a pretty good battery experience because the 5000 mAh battery lasts pretty long, and the MediaTek G99 is an efficient chipset. The entire day of battery life is no problem actually, and the 33-watt charging is getting pretty common in these days, but this thing actually can juice this up pretty quickly. Now this phone has given me a pretty solid experience, but this is not all good though. Like in the back you can see two big housing for the cameras, but no need to get excited. The camera sensors are not that big, and there is technically only one camera on the rear, and the dev check only found one camera, and that is the main camera, which is 64 megapixel. And on the bottom housing there is two cameras, they say. One is the depth sensor and the another one is the AI camera. I don't know what does that mean. I mean, there's a lot of AI in the smartphone. We'll be talking about that soon. And there is a circular ring light as a flash on the back of the smartphone, and this thing is pretty diffused, and the flash actually looks good because this thing is not gonna bother with the harsh shadows while you're taking photos, so that is kind of handy. And this thing also features a selfie flash also, that is also diffused, and yeah, that would help in the nighttime photographies. For the price tag it has come with, this is considered to be a basic smartphone, and we actually don't expect that much in terms of camera performance on the smartphone. But this Tecno Camon 20 Pro has delivered some awesome pictures, and it made me wonder actually. We usually don't see this good camera performance in this segment of the smartphone market. Now in terms of daylight photos, this thing actually nails. The colors are oversaturated kinda, and the contrast is higher than my like, but many people are gonna like that oversaturated look, but for myself I kinda tend to like the natural look more. It's a personal preference, but the photo seems to be social media ready straight out of the camera. Although the photo looks good, there is a lot of lackings in terms of sharpness, and if you zoom in a bit you will see that there is not a lot of details. But you can toggle the 64 megapixel mode, but I have seen that both looks comparable. Without the 64 megapixel, the default mode, and the 64 megapixel mode, they're pretty comparable. But I would say the sharpness isn't that great, but otherwise the camera experience was really good. For the nighttime shot, obviously this sensor is not that big, and the camera is not actually that much optimized for low light photos, but I could click some okayish kind of usable photos in the nighttime. So I went out in the late night obviously, because that time the crowd is out of the streets. So I have taken these shots, and I have seen that the noise level is quite high obviously, because this is not a very big sensor, and this is gonna suffer. But these are not that like trash kind of photo. These are kind of usable. Obviously you can turn on the flash, and the photos doesn't drastically improve, but it kind of helps. Obviously you would find noise is everywhere in terms of night photos, so for the night shot I won't recommend this thing. For the video department, it can shoot 2K videos up to 30 fps. I've checked the capacity of the G99, and this was the highest capacity it can record videos, that 2K 30 fps, and they have given that. I appreciate that. Although 4K has become a standard, but 2K is just okay for this segment of smartphones. Now in terms of stabilization, there is no OIS obviously, and for the EIS you can just toggle it on, otherwise there is no stabilization. And for the video performance, I'm not very satisfied. You can check the samples on the screen right now. So for the overall camera experience, I would give it 6 out of 10, but if you consider the price, this can easily go out 7.5 or 8 out of 10 easily. For the speaker side, the stereo speaker gives you a good sound experience, but I have seen the top firing speaker, or the upper speaker is weaker than the bottom speaker, so in terms of balance this is not there, but it's kind of manageable. And while I was playing videos, I have seen that the top speaker actually located here, the vibration comes from here, not here. I don't know how they channel the sound, but that actually also not good for the performance of the speaker, so one thing to bear in mind. Now for the software side, the Tecno Camon 20 Pro comes with iOS 13 based on Android 13. Now the iOS is not that impressive or appealing to me, like there is a lot of clutter in the UI, a lot of bloatwares in the UI obviously, and yeah, this kind of okay level, but the experience was kind of smooth thanks to the 120Hz display. Now there is a lot of improvements that can be made on iOS, but I would say it is is not that much of a bad OS. Now this Tecno Camon 20 Pro prices at around 25,000 at Mars 2, and I really recommend buying smartphone from Mars because they are a group of smartphone shop at the South African complex, which is at the center of the Kumila city obviously, and you can find any of your desired smartphone for the best price from them, and all the smartphone brands live under the same roof in Mars 2. So definitely go check them out from the links in the description below. Now what is my final take on this smartphone? For the price, like 25,000, there is not a lot of great option on the market right now, but Tecno did actually nail this price segment with this Tecno Camon 20 Pro. This phone is highly recommended. If you like this phone and you can just cope up with the high OS on this phone, and the camera isn't that important for you. Obviously you don't have the ultra wide camera on this phone, so if you want the ultra wide camera, this is not for you. But otherwise, I guess this is going to give you a very good experience. You can definitely go with this Camon 20 Pro, highly recommended. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you soon with some new interesting videos. Till then, stay good, keep good, and keep doing incredible things. And yes, of course, keep watching Incredible Victor.